This puts Socrates to shame. Lesson 139 by Jesus Christ in the Course in Miracles would make Aristotle blush. It's incredible. It's absolutely the mind that did lesson 139 is so incredibly great that you ought to be jumping up and down. Now, lesson 140 will what? It'll come right back into there's no cure. There's no cure except atonement. That's lesson 140. Lovely. Says that instead of re-illusioning your associations, see the consciousness as whole through the love that extends from your mind. Okay? If that consciousness is really sitting out there with cancer, dear one, nothing in earth or heaven is going to make him well. You must look at it this way. The sickness in the disease in the sin is only separation. Okay? Anything that can, I'm doing the course, I just keep doing these sentences over and over for you. Anything that could become sick could not possibly be real. How the hell am I going to work a miracle here if you're going to tell me that you're sick and I'm going to allow you to be sick? Don't let your brother be sick. Want another one? Don't let your brother die. You guys are putting up too much energy. I'm liable to spring you right out of here. See what's happened? I got some of my. What's it? See, there's never been a case where a so-called advanced teacher, master, Christ, whatever you call him, has ever been able to awaken any of his disciples. Never. Never, 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 never. Oh, I was at Muktananda for 20 years, and I look at him and I say, big deal. You know, you go, What? See. Yeah, and he had a lot of, what do you guys call it? Saktipa. He's a lovely guy. But what's happening to you guys as disciples, I'm not giving you any discipline. Okay, that's the toughest discipline there could ever be. I refuse to give you direction because if I do, you'll attack me. Why? When it fails, because you'll put the discipline in the framework where you can blame for me when it doesn't work. I have no intention of allowing you to do it. No. You're not going to get away with that. And I know that you do it. I know you're doing it right now. But if you come around me, I won't let you get away with being yourself. That's crazy to me. Why would you want to do that? We're always in confrontation. When you begin to teach this, as awakened teachers, and all of you here are doing it, this is a very advanced association. Okay, you will make unqualifying demands on the perceptual consciousness. If it doesn't accept it, you'll just reject it. It has nothing to do with you. Okay, this is the whole basis of the teaching for what Jesus calls advanced teachers, okay? If you come to me with a problem, it doesn't really have any meaning to me. That is, you're presenting me with your request that there's a solution contained within you that will answer the directive that I have given you, that you're whole and perfect. Okay. You're not asking the right question of me. Okay. When you do ask the right question, you don't want to accept it. Why? Because you have projected me as an image of a funny guy standing here. You're going to examine how I came to know this, for example. Well, how long have you been studying? Do you have a diploma that says that you're able to tell me more about God than I know? It's just crazy. It finally doesn't make any sense. Why? Most particularly because you're only going to hear from the guy what you want to hear anyway. You cannot hear more than you want to hear, right? Cause and effect are not separate. You can only get the answer back that you've designed in your mind to hear. Well, all I'm doing is, through this association, changing your own association with yourself. Quite literally, I'm giving you a better reflection of yourself than you have. See? Now, did I do that by a confrontation with you and I in my mind? Nah. I did it because I know that what you're presenting to me is not so. There aren't separate personas. Okay? That is, the idea that there are separate identities used to disturb me a lot. I would look and see somebody outside myself, and I'd say, I wonder whose that is. Yeah. Like you ask your mother, Mother, if you weren't my mother, would I still be me? And she'd say, no, you're somebody else's little boy. You can't get that in your mind, okay? It's hard to get that. Yeah, because when I was 7, I said, yeah, but I'd still be me, wouldn't I? She'd say, no, you're somebody else. I said, I don't understand. My mind couldn't understand. Okay, it's an amazing thing. If you stop and look at the lunacy of 3,000 million separate associations on Earth, I saw that very early. It didn't make any sense. It's senseless. If each one of them is a separate consciousness, it's impossible. Like Jesus says, judging them is absolutely futile. So what you do is close it into a limited judgment association and form genetic associations that sustain you momentarily in your time framework. You're just going like this all the time. Blah, 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 and you're trying to hold it. See, now, so the psychology then is to get you not to associate with your projections. You put them out there, they're being used by you to identify yourself. Okay, this is the way you should be teaching the Course, because the initial statement of the Course is that none of this is real, and this is just in your mind. Now, if I give you a body identification, all right, and you and I decide to share that body identification, what have we done? Just acknowledge our mutual temporalness. Now what are we going to do? Well, let's get together and have some kids, okay? We'll get them through law school. What are you looking forward to? Well, I plan to get in a wheelchair and face the wall and drool for 7 years while you hope that I die so I don't appreciate the estate. Oh, that's crazy. You see the ambivalence of split mind, hate, love? And then no wonder you feel guilty. Oh, it's just awful. Now, when I was going through my awakening period, I was feeling intense pain for my associations. I mean, really intense. The sign of an awakened mind is you can't stand the pain of the other guy. And a lot of you healers, or what you call unhealed healers, have tried to alleviate the pain of your associations. And you feel the futility of it because it literally can't be done. You work your magic, your nostrums, your pills, your demonstrations, your psychological reassociations, and the damn consciousness dies. Suicide rate among physicians is very high. I work with impaired physicians, and they would come to me in private and say, hell, everything I treat dies. And these were guys that wanted to heal. They don't, I told you this before, they don't get through medical school now much anymore. But when I was growing up, we had guys that really wanted to heal. They had the old practitioner that you had, Dr. Layton, used to come with a black bag to the house, and he healed. And I can look back and see that he healed. Okay, and he didn't have any real medicine to give, but he came and he was there, and there was an exchange going on, and I'm very much aware of it. One of the reasons we're wrapping this whole episode up is you've stopped exchanging and you've gone to thought forms, okay, and you're treating the impossibility. You're treating the thought form rather than the holistic association. It's a fact. And the more computer you put into it, the more necessity you have to treat the specific association, which is absolutely futile and means absolutely nothing. If it's a possibility that the consciousness be in pain, the pain has to be total or it's not painful at all. And that pain can only be separation and a demand to reassociate separate from the wholeness and die in the expedience of the tension caused in time. And that's what you're doing right now. I don't know how you stand it. I couldn't stand, finally, the disease of the necessity to hold on to perceptual reality. Jesus says, how do you take the pain? every time you get things together in your mind in the form, I know some of you are going, well, I know, but I'm going to be able to do it. No, you're not. Well, you say, I'm going to be able to hold this together until what? Until it falls apart. So you're demonstrating to me life based on holding your thought forms together and then having them collapse in sickness and pain. If that's all you think life is, what the hell are you doing here? You don't need me. If your life is only going to be based on you holding yourself together and then rotting in that body, why do you come to me? I'll tell you why. You really don't like the situation that you're in. But you don't see any alternative to it. Not really. Why? If you saw the alternative of it, you'd immediately exercise it. You're nuts, but you're not that nuts. The whole basis of this teaching is to give you one single alternative to everything that you've ever done up until now. Isn't that so? Am I an impossible alternative? Yeah. You keep demanding to know how I fit into your relationship. I don't fit. That's the whole teaching. But remember, that's augmented with the assertion that you are a willing slave to death. And if you want to do that, who the hell will stop you? Your demands to know who you are in your own relationship are obviously what? The tension of your associated thought forms, aren't they? Everybody hear me? Say yes. Oh, good. I thought some of you might still be questioning that. You know the problem you're having with this? Should I tell you? Why you write things down? It's too simple. You will not accept the absolute simplicity of this. Why? It's a total discredit to you. You can't stand the idea that you need do nothing. You absolutely can't stand it. Don't tell me you're going to get me, you're going to participate with me in this. You're wrong. You need do nothing. Well, I know. You're going to tell me that all I have to do is sit on this chair and do nothing to work. I say, no, that's doing a lot. Okay? What you define as nothing is everything. You couldn't come around me and not identify yourself and not wake up. It's impossible. It would be impossible. But you're nothing but an energy package. Jesus calls you the great race. You're nothing but an association of thought forms contained within this whole drama, aren't you? Okay, now, somewhere within your association, wherever that is, you're hearing me. I've always said exactly the same thing to you. Why? It's the truth. Okay, you're the one that doctors it all up. You're the one that says, I don't sing Christian hymns. That means absolutely nothing to me. It's absolutely meaningless. Why? Everything that you associate with is meaningless. That's not a very scientific approach. On the contrary, it's a very scientific approach. It's quantum. It's the inclusion of all thought in all thought. But wouldn't I lose my perceptual reality? I don't understand lose perceptual reality. I'm not teaching you, okay, to a notation of non-perception. I am teaching you to perfect perception for just a moment. Your whole idea that you can somehow grasp non-perception is silly. How can perception become non-perceptual except by becoming perfectly perceptual? That's the passageway. That's the perfect reflection of the thought forms that are emanating at the schism point right now. This is the star that Jesus talks about, that is hung in as a permanent beacon for you to identify with Star of Bethlehem, we call it in esoteric Christianity. And it hangs right here. Well, it really doesn't hang right there. Yeah. Where did you think it hung? Somewhere out there? Who do you think is reenacting the Christmas story? you guys read chapter 20? You're reenacting the Christmas story. Do you see that? You're going to go through what? The passion of your crucifixion, apparent crucifixion, and resurrection, aren't you?